Hey, what's up, SEO pros? Big news! I recently discovered SEO Nitro, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. In just days, I saw incredible results that blew my mind. With SEO Nitro, you can get links from thousands of different C-block IPs, with most powerful links at a fraction of the cost. Patent software lets you control your entire backlink profile in minutes. Add, remove, and change links at any time. Protect your site from Google's changes with SEO Nitro's revolutionary backlinking software. Imagine having the power to have laser-targeted themed backlinks, automated link spinning, set it and forget it. Thousands of stellar sites and manual and automated posting options. SEO Nitro is the ultimate SEO weapon. Head on to SEONitro.com now to revolutionize your SEO game. Don't miss out on page one. It's just click away. Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show. We got a great guest today, Eean Evans. He is the founder of Agency Assassin. It's a great local SEO tool. If you haven't checked it out, go to agencyassassin.com. We'll be talking about how to rank #1 for 20 keywords in less than 8 weeks with your local maps. We haven't had a local SEO expert on in a while, so I think this is going to be a great way to check out what's new and what's going on in the local SEO space. I actually started picking up a couple of local SEO clients myself. Looking forward to what knowledge bombs is going to drop today. I see a few of you out there. Don't be shy, guys. Be sure to say hi in the live chat and let me know where you're watching from. And by the way, I found a couple more SEO in 2024 books. If you want a copy of the SEO in 2024 book, shoot me an email at dre@seo.video. Lucy says hi. Oh man, I see Eean in the back. Let me pull him up in the screen here. Eean, my man, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Sound good, look good, love the shirt. Yes.
Thanks.
I'm saying hi to everyone in the chat. People are just saying, coming in right now, just saying hi. So you saw the agenda. I'm pretty much in the very beginning. I kind of go over a few videos, and then I'll introduce you in maybe 8 minutes after the hour. It's usually about the time.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, for these questions, is it a hard stop at 12:45?
Oh no. There's. I mean, well, kind of ish. I just want to keep it within. I know there might be more questions in time, but I'll pace it out. There's
some stuff in here that's questions that have 5-10 minute answers to really flesh them out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
It's just pretty much a guide just for us to get going. I mean, for the most part, yeah. I usually kind of put that together, and I don't. Maybe 90% of the time, I don't usually go through all of them because it's just a bunch. Yeah. Kim Morgan says, "Hey Dre, long time. Hey Eean." Kim, are you going to be at SEO Rockstars? SEO Rockstars is going to be in Las Vegas, I believe, this year. What's your next speaking conference, Eean?
I actually don't have any booked right now. I've been all focused internally. Yeah, I'm working entirely on all my sales and ops and marketing. So nice. I'll get back out and start speaking again.
There we go. Alfredo says, "My man, Dre and Eean." Kim is planning on going to Rockstars. Love it. See you out there, Kim. Where are you based out on the East Coast?
I'm in Denver. How about
Denver.
you?
Oh, so you're not that far. You're still on West Coast time, right? Pacific Standard Time. I'm here in Oakland, California.
Oh, okay, cool. I love Oakland and the whole Bay Area. Great food.
Oh yeah, I saw you had some photos on the Golden Gate Bridge. You're biking across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes. Yeah. That was a while back. That was fun. I biked all the way up to Marine Point.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
From downtown. Yeah. It was fun. It was a little challenge, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maddox says, hi, Eean and Dre.
What do you like best about Oakland?
The food. But for the most part, it's. I try not to drive anywhere because right now it's true what's going on in the Bay Area. A lot of bipping. So I was Uber wherever if I have to go out into the downtown Oakland or downtown San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean I love the Bay. I'm born and raised out here. I love the weather. You know, everyone here is just like if you're from the Bay, everyone just looks out for each other.
Yeah. I love like Bay Area and Oakland hip hop for sure, and a lot of the music and influence out there.
Oh yeah.
For forever. Yeah.
Yeah. There's when I used to live in downtown Oakland, right there, and there was something like called First Fridays, and it was like a music festival every first Friday, and we would just like the whole town would just like block off like tons, the whole blocks. It's like a whole huge block party.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, that was like maybe 10 years ago, and it had a good run for about good 5-6 years before it got kind of out of hand. But it was good.
yeah, that's what happened. My friends did a First Friday in our district, and they do like dance music. So they did like a rave every Friday, and it got to where it was like blocking all the traffic, and so they shut them down.
yeah. Those. I mean, those are always fun. I mean, it's fun for the community, but yeah, I mean, I know that it can take a lot of work and effort on the city's part.
yeah, exactly. It's too bad they didn't get. Because these days, I think that like they would be more supported. I think there's more of a vibe for that, especially after COVID, where it's like they're more like willing to shut down streets and stuff.
Yep.
Like especially in Denver. So like I feel like if they were doing it now, like probably the art, because that art community does great. It brings other people down. There's all the galleries and stuff. But yeah.
Got it. Ernesto says, yo, what's up, Ernesto? What's up, guys? If you're just tuning in, we have Eean Evans in the back, and we'll be learning how to rank for number one for 20 keywords in less than 8 weeks. A bunch of more stuff for local SEO. So be sure to get your notepad ready. A lot of good stuff going on. I met Eean. It was the first time I met you was in Las Vegas. It was actually at the conference where Kim Morgan, that was just on in the audience, was at. It was for Digital Unfiltered, right? That's Craig Campbell's.
I didn't see you at SEO Rockstars the year before.
I was more likely just online because I haven't actually went to a Rockstars in person. It's always been online. But cool. I will be there for this year's one because I know Dory's going to do it out in Las Vegas this year, which is a lot closer. We got about 2.5 more minutes to go. If you guys are just tuning in, I have Eean Evans here in the back, and we're just chatting it up, and we'll be talking about how to rank number one for over 20 keywords in less than 8 weeks for your local maps, and we'll learn a little bit more about Agency Assassin, and like how it works and how you can use CTR to also help you rank for keywords for your local SEO. As you know, the Google leak shows that CTR is something out there. So guys, be sure to pay attention. Have you been like online seeing a bunch of your feeds by everyone talking about that Google leak of 14,000 features?
Yeah, the Google leak, to me, it's everything that I've been telling people.
Yeah, exactly.
I like, because there's so many elements of it that like, it all kind of makes sense. I mean, if you think about Google and what they're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, like so much, actually the one thing that I realized that I hadn't been doing a lot of lately that should work based on a leak is tiered link building should still work really well.
Ah.
And I've been doing a lot of that on my own.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see which feature was it mentioned? What was the kind of the?
It's just because of the way that they use link authority. Tiered link building should still work really well, because if you think about it, as you do tiers, the complexity increases for them. So Google can't go backwards through 3 or 4 tiers and know every single link backlink can do it. And they're still taking that site authority and that relevance. And they're trying to use that content, and so mathematically, they can't fix. So if you're doing many tiers of links, it's gonna accumulate some level of signal. Google can't go backwards up through all those links and make sure that all of them are good, or they're not like bad web 2s or whatever else. And so that stuff should be working. And actually it was working. There's certain things that stopped working, like spin tax. Spambrain 2 years ago started detecting spin tax, and those links wouldn't count for much. But there's still other strategies that should work.
Love it. Love dropping knowledge bombs right before the show. Love that. Okay, we got 20 seconds to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on mute right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get things started here, and I'll introduce you in about 8 minutes after the hour.
Good. Great.
All right, Brian, what's up, my man? Hey, what's up, SEO pros? Big news! I recently discovered SEO Nitro, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. In just days, I saw incredible results that blew my mind. With SEO Nitro, you can get links from thousands of different C-block IPs, the most powerful links at a fraction of the cost. Patent software lets you control your entire backlink profile in minutes. Add, remove, and change links at any time. Protect your site from Google's changes with SEO Nitro's revolutionary backlinking software. Imagine having the power to have laser-targeted theme backlinks, automated link spinning, set it and forget it. Thousands of stellar sites and manual and automated posting options. SEO Nitro is the ultimate SEO weapon. Head on to SEONitro.com now to revolutionize your SEO game. Don't miss out on page 1. It's just click away.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show. Hey.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show, where SEO is alive and fun. My name's Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released within the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest this week is the founder of Agency Assassin, Eean. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Brian, Ernesto, Fletcher, Maddox, Kim, Alfredo, Victor, Lucy, Stefan. Welcome everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey Dre, what's the optimum view for an SEO? Page view. Get it? Page view.
Google is now indexing EPUB, electronic publication file types. I recommend bookmarking the list of indexable file types by Google. It's a great way to find out more ways to repurpose your content. Check the link in the description for all the types that are available. The biggest news this week was the leak of over 14,000 ranking factors. Barry Schwartz says Google confirms it. Let's check this out.
Okay, so Google has confirmed the search data leak, but urged caution. What I mean is Google's statement said, we would caution against making inaccurate assumptions about search based on out of context, outdated, and incomplete information. We shared extensive information how search works and types of factors that our systems weigh, while also working to protect our integrity of our search, our results from manipulation. In short, basically Google saying, yes, our thing was leaked. Google didn't say how they were leaked, but they did say it was leaked. So good job, Rand, Mike, on finding that leak and uncovering it. SEOs are having a field day with it. A lot of SEOs are like, this matters, this doesn't matter. You guys, they did it because they're trying to confuse everybody. They did it on purpose. It's a lot of stuff going on out there. Ultimately, the only thing I'm doing going forward for my SEO strategy is buying DA links. That's it, nothing else. No, but in seriousness, Google basically saying here in the statement that one, We leaked it. It was not we leaked it. It was leaked, not us. It was leaked. But if reading this stuff doesn't mean that everything in there is actively used, was ever used. Maybe it was just used for testing at one point in time. Maybe it was used for something else, or maybe it was never used. And at the same time, we are not going to talk more about this because if you want to know every single detail there, we're not going to go ahead and share it with you. We're not going to tell you if links matter. We're not going to tell you anything here because we would never do that.
SEO testers uncovered many of these factors mentioned in this leak like years ago. One software that measures over 100,000 factors is Cora by Ted Kubaitis. If you want to check that out, you can get a 25% discount by going to seo.video/Cora. Okay, how to use Google Search Console for content marketing by Martin Tang. Let's check this one out.
Is improve the second or third page to the first page. Let's say you click the average position, then you can click the position, can sort by position. I will look at the position 11, 12, meaning that the second page or more, improve that. Because basically this is like the low hanging fruit, meaning you put more effort, then you will increase to first page, just that simple. The third thing is you need to play how the clicks, impression, CTR, how the combination to find the priority. For example, I can filter by CTR. I can know which page has the highest CTR, which one is the lowest, then so what? So you can further it down. Let's say I want to filter by impression. Wow, this one is like 1 million something but 0% CTR. So you can play with this combination to find which post you should prioritize. Make a list which one you should do first, phase by phase. The fourth tip is you can use a search console to look for trend or seasonal or pattern. This one I already filter a keyword, then I can know this one is a spike. Then you can see the similar pattern throughout the maximum 16 months. So this is a very good indicator. You should do this kind of content regularly during that period. You can prepare in advance looking at this kind of trend.
Another content marketing tactic you can use with Google Search Console is doing a year-over-year comparison to see which pages lost traffic and which keywords actually has dropped. You can then create a content refresh brief for your writer, then update the older page and watch your traffic resurrect. Okay, how to show up in Google News by Brian Winum shares a golden nugget here. Let's check this one out.
The other signal is its types of signals are making the site look the part. Like for example, it has to look legitimate. I want to have a nicely crafted logo. I mean, to the point where I'm taking cues from what Google is telling me specifically from all their different platforms. Like this is one thing I've heard specifically from both the Google News support team and also from the GMB support team. They've told me that you're best served by having your actual business name be part of your logo itself. So the exact word for word, if that's on your logo, you're going to have a better chance of getting approved in Google News. And I've heard the same thing with GMBs. They've told me that. I've actually changed it and gotten things approved. So just pay attention to all the little things that Google's looking for and just keep stacking them and just making sure that I'm tying everything together and giving Google everything it wants.
This is the first time hearing having a company name, maybe having some keywords in your logo can help you get approved. Okay, Ryan Stewart shares how to get reviews for your Google business profile. Let's check this one out.
And reviews are so important. You cannot shortcut this. Reviews are probably the most important ranking factor. They're like the equivalent of links with traditional SEO. The key is getting consistent ones over a long period of time from people that are actual verified customers, right? So again, the way that we do that is 1, you can go back through past customers. 2 is to ask friends, family, network for what we call character reviews. So for example, it doesn't always have to be a customer that leaves a review, but somebody who can speak to the character of the law firm. If it's a colleague, if it's a friend, whatever that looks like. And then 3 is we'll have them as soon as a new case closes going forward, phone call right away. Call them, tell them about the results, and text them a link to your business profile and ask them. And then finally, the fourth one, this is kind of a bonus one. If they have a larger law firm with a lot of employees, we'll do incentivization programs. So every single month, the people who generate the most reviews get a gift card, they get a spot bonus, all these different things. Like it's really important that you get your clients to understand how important these reviews are and it's worth investing because more reviews mean higher rankings mean more phone calls means more money.
Speaking of local SEO, this brings me to my favorite part of the show. Please ask questions and I will address them in the order that they were received. Before we introduce our guest, here's a word from our sponsor. Struggling to get high authority backlinks? My buddy Ferry has a perfect solution for you.
How much do you think this digital PR campaign is worth? Wait just 1 minute before you answer. Watch as we hijack the news with Taylor Swift and Barbie to get you the links. Now we can take this dataset from ONS and paste it right into your emails to get you the links. Now how much do you think this campaign is worth? Don't answer! Wait until you see Bloomberg, BBC, Forbes, top-tier national and regional news outlets, reactive PR, data PR, expert commentary, over 70 team members at your disposal. This product is so hot I need a fan! And then listen to what campaigns we do at no extra charge. Gain character wages, bananas and sleep, best dates for dogs, luckiest UK areas, and many more. All for just how much did you guess? 10,000? 20,000? Even more? No! It's just £5,500. That's right. It's 5.5 grand. It's an incredible value, but it's true. It's digital PR from Search Intelligence. Order today. PO Box, searchintelligence.co.uk. Accept B2B clients.
He is a technologist and SEO expert with 10 years of experience in the industry. His strengths include understanding changes in major algorithms in real time. His business portfolio includes 11 operating businesses producing cash flow. He's a speaker at Digital Unfiltered, SEO Spring Training, SEO Mastery Summit, and more. He is the owner of a local SEO tool called Agency Assassin. Please welcome Eean.
Yeah, my man. Welcome to the show.
That was a great intro. Thank you.
Everyone, let's give a round of applause. All right, Eean. This is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here in 1 minute or less. How does Eean get ranking on page 1 of Google?
Be trusted by Google. That's the number one thing right now. It's trust. How do you get trust? You build a brand. And how do you do that? You do all the things that a brand do, be all the places that a brand is. And then after you have that trust, you send the powerful signals. And that's links and CTR. Those are high authority, low trust signals. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have trust, then they don't work well. But if you have trust, then you'll win. It's that easy.
Love it. Second knowledge bomb of today, because Eean dropped the knowledge bomb in the pre-show. So be sure to check that one out. Okay, let's rewind this real quick. Hold on. Take us way back to over 10 years ago. How did you first get into SEO?
I was actually an operations manager for a roofing company, and Marcus Jeffrey of Denver Web Success came in and did a proposal. And I read his proposal. The CEO handed it to me and said, "Hey, should we do this?" And I looked through it, and we ended up hiring him. But I was like, "Oh, I could write this content." And then I was a partner at a printing company a couple years later, and we got a lead. Somebody wanted SEO. And so I went out and sold the guy SEO, and I came back and found that report and looked at the software as SEO Power Suite and Googled how to rank number one on Google. At the time, it was blog comments on newspapers. I was going to newspaper articles and writing blog comments, and I ranked in number one for Denver Dispensary in about a month. 2011.
Love that. Love 2011. And you were just doing like blog comments and just ranking stuff like crazy, right? That was some good times.
Oh man. It was so easy back then. You just do anchor link. You just do like your search term in the anchor and do a link in a blog comment and do like 10 or 15 of those and shoot right up to number one.
Man.
It's a different time.
Love it. So what actually made you interested in doing SEO?
Well, I mean, because I guess I tried it and it worked.
Love that.
yeah, my customer was happy. I thought about it and it just kind of made sense. Like, of course I used Google, and, as soon as like I had some concept that like, you can, manipulate this and you could be at the top. I was like, oh, well, that just makes tons of sense. You want to be at the top. That's what I click. That's what somebody else will click. So it was like, oh yeah, of course this is a profession. And so I just jumped in.
Love that. Okay, so I want to take it back to like, how did you actually learn it then? How did you actually learn SEO?
So I Black Hat World gave me all sorts of bad information. I went there early, and then I started going to meetups. So I started with local meetups, and I met Garrett Acott of Turbo Software, who does proxies and software and all sorts of stuff. I met him and another friend, Cade Lee, and I actually Cade had an SEO agency, and he used GSA SER. So they were both black hats, and I didn't think black hat worked until I talked to them. And I paid Cade $250 to teach me how to use the software. And what I got out of that is Cade probably helped me for 5 years for that $250.
Oh, wow.
He would buy me lunch and take me out to show me. I think it's so funny because I think that one of the things that I got right was, you show people who have knowledge, respect, and you appreciate what they offer you. And there's so many people willing to help.
Yep.
And so I just have heavily leveraged that. I've always been willing to ask for help. I've always been willing to talk to people who know more than me, and reach out and say like, hey, I need help. Like, what are your thoughts? And especially in this industry, like, people are just insanely generous. Like, people who are incredibly reputable, busy people will really help a lot. And so, I got in the habit of sharing a lot of information, because I realized the more that you share, the better access you get. And so I did a lot of experiments. I shared a lot, and that got me access to like some of the best little private groups and masterminds, and it helped me game up really fast. Yeah.
Love that. You mentioned masterminds and groups. Can you mention a few just that are out there that people should pay attention to?
Well, Garrett has a great group online. His is now called, it was SEO Tools, and it's now AI and SEO Tools Uncensored. Okay. That's a really good group for just like basically more technical tool use. And then besides that, I have connected with a lot of people in SEO Signals Lab. The problem is a lot of people there believe what Google says. So that's kind of rough. I would say generally the most information that I get is from people find meeting groups of people at conferences. So SEO Rockstars or SEO Spring Training. Ended up meeting and talking to people at those, and those connections I ended up reaching out a lot of the time one-on-one with people. So I met people or discovered groups through online forums, but most of my actual collaboration is probably more one-on-one on Facebook, especially.
Love that. For those that want to learn how to network and how to make those connections, because I know some SEOs can be pretty introverted. What would you be that one tip for someone to go up to someone and try to connect with that person?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What would one tip that you could use, a networking tip for someone if they went to a conference to go talk to someone? Say if someone wanted to come up to you and you were scared to come up to you, what would you have to say to them?
So it's funny. So the way that I got introduced to Garrett and Cade is they were talking about Black Hat, and I had read articles on Google and that disagreed with what they said. And during the panel, I asked a question and I challenged them. And I was like, why does this say this and you say that?
Yeah.
And I wasn't being a jerk about it, but it was a serious question. And so I think that being willing to engage and being willing to ask questions, and having a willingness actually interface with what somebody's invested into. So if they're working on a software product, if you have a question about that product, just asking the question. I think people underestimate how much people value just being having someone recognize or have interest in them. It's kind of one of those how to win friends and influence people things. Being interested in people. It's better to be interested in people than it is to be interesting. So you want to make it more about them than you do about yourself. And if you notice something positive or you have a question about something, having the being willing to ask it, it creates some really great conversations that can help both parties out. I think that most people would be really surprised at how much they have to offer, even someone with a lot of knowledge and experience. Just based upon their own experience, for me, it could be if you use my product and you notice something that could be improved on it. I really appreciate that because, I'm always head down, I'm in the bunker dealing with my everyday challenges. And so I don't necessarily have the perspective of what someone might like, what might really help somebody out. So like even just like being like, hey, like I like your product. Have you ever thought about doing this? Like I really appreciate when people bring me that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Love that. And take us to the present of like you currently have like over 10, 12 businesses that's currently cash flowing. So what are some projects that you have going on right now?
Yeah. So I mean, by far, Agency Assassin is the one that takes the most of my time. Despite my hairline, I own part of a hair clinic. I have a public adjusting firm. Like that one's a mass page site that generates really nice lead volume. The hair clinic is just a local SEO strategy that we've done really, really well with. We rank for practically every hair loss, hair restoration, and hair like therapy and treatment term in Denver in the top 3. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that is just like doing local SEO and then creating partnerships or revenue deals. So that one's a revenue deal. We have 50% revenue, and then we also have 30% equity. But all that we did is the marketing. So basically we just bring the strategy and then we take equity. Those ones can be really slow to build. So a lot of the time those are kind of passive and just like, you know, they're just some steady money. But usually that project was like 3 months of work and now it's passive revenue. I mean, it's maybe, you know, that might make us, you know, 10 or 15 grand a year, but that's like, we don't do much of anything to it anymore. So we have a lot of projects like that where, you know, we'll develop a partnership and then at some point, some of them start to grow a lot. Like I have a car one where we do cash for cars. That one, you know, is doing, you know, mid 5 figures of revenue and could be turned into a real business as soon as we have time to like really work on it. But that's going to require us putting people in place and doing some more handling of the leads ourselves. I also own a printing company in Denver, a minority position. And that was how I got my start actually. At that printing company, I took a 40% cut in pay to come into the office 4 days a week instead of 5. So at the time they were having me on site 5 days a week. By taking a 40% pay cut to be in there 4 days a week, I already had one SEO client. I was able to sell more SEO clients. By selling one additional SEO client, my income actually was more than it was working at the printing company. So I was able to do that with 1 day a week. And then steadily, as I staffed up my agency, I took all my printing company duties and moved it to my agency, and I no longer managed it. And we actually increased the monthly on that. So I was able to negotiate myself to a better cash position and completely out of the office of my day job by doing that.
Love that. I mean, this could be another episode for us to talk about because I've heard people doing this where they can get actual revenue share or, you know, becoming a partner by offering a marketing service or SEO, like, you know, even with the commission, like whether it's like an actual brick and mortar. That's gonna be a pretty cool episode to chat about. But we're here to talk about local SEO and how to rank, how you are able to rank over 20 keywords on position 1 with like less than 8 weeks, right? So I want to get into that. Can you walk us through like the initial steps you took to prepare for this challenge?
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, it was funny because like, so the first thing that we did, and this is, I mean, of course, like some people are going to be like, duh, other people will be like, maybe this will actually make a lot of sense. But this is a client who's a friend of mine, and they had an existing brand, and that brand had nothing. They had no website. They had no presence. It was basically just his brother was selling painting jobs, but he wanted to turn it into something else. And so they already had a brand in mind, but we were starting from the ground up. Like we had nothing of value to work with. And so we started talking to him about, you know, doing like, the micro brand strategy. And at first they weren't on board, his brother especially. He was like, well, I already have a name. But it's like he had a name, but nobody knew it. So he was attached to it. But, you know, what we talked to him about is like, hey, like, you know, let's brand this instead on the city and the services, you know? And so, you know, it's city painting company, interior, exterior, and commercial painting. It's an obnoxiously long name, but it works extremely well. The first step was basically, you know, helping them to understand that they didn't have any competitors in that area that had optimized business names. So, you know, if you're in a major city, everything is, you know, LA chiropractor and LA, you know, personal injury attorney. Like everybody's already got those optimizations in place. This is a city of about 500,000 people, and nobody had the city painting company name, and nobody had that city in their business name. So we knew already we'd be out the gate with a huge advantage. And it's hard to understate how big of an advantage that is due to the dimensions of microbranding and the benefits. Do you want me to go to that right now?
Yeah. Let's talk about. Let me drop a knowledge bomb for that right there. Let's go into the microbranding. Yeah, please.
So one of the biggest like penalties that Google offers, one of the most likely times that people get penalty is if you have a subject matter signal that's larger than a brand signal. And so this is like if you're doing like content sites or affiliate sites, your subject matter will tend to be more authoritative than your brand, and that's probably what the helpful content update September 2023 went after. It went after if your entity structures were favoring subject matter over brand. So back in the day, if you built links, you got a penalty by like around 2018, those penalties would tend to come if you had a very weak brand authority and really high subject matter authority. You could get negative SEO, and they did it first with just anchor text. So like with whatever Panda or whatever, back when they just looked at your anchor text diversity, and if you had fewer brand links than you did like keyword anchors, they would penalize you on that keyword. And so this is like a historical thing. The same thing happens with CTR traffic. If you have a ton of CTR traffic for subject matter and very little for brand, they will penalize you for that CTR traffic. You can actually get negative by that. And so by microbranding, if Google associates the microbrand with your business as a brand, then you can have subject matter in that brand, and Google will not penalize over optimizing it because it's brand. So you can skip all the link penalties, and you can skip the CTR penalties by doing a microbrand because Google recognizes it as a brand.
Wow. Double launch bomb right there. Love that. Yeah. Love that. Okay, so you're talking about some links. What's like, how does citations play a part of your strategy?
So this has a lot to do with, so back in the day, it was a separate metric outside of, so once upon a time, Google looked for NAP citations, and it was a specific ranking factor. And it was actually like the biggest ranking factor, probably 2016, 2017 on Google Maps was citations. And, what they were looking for with the citation, of course, is, it has all the NAP information and it links back to the brand and discusses it. And, there have been different times where they had different, they used to be like really strict with like NAP had to be correct all the time. And then they got it wasn't a penalty, but they wouldn't assign NAP authority on citations if you didn't have it all correct. Those days are long gone. Nowadays, NAP can be, as long as they can tell what the business is and it's the same business, the NAP can be somewhat inconsistent and it doesn't penalize you, or it'll still count. Mm-hmm. But for citations these days, it has a lot more to do with entities and knowledge graph. So, it's a way for Google to know that a business is established. And so for them to recognize like business entity, so there's a business entity, like there's your business as a business entity. Mm-hmm. Citations represent that as a business entity. So it's like a backlink, except it's specific to a business entity, which is what's listed in like business directories. Mm-hmm. So it's a reference, essentially. It's a backlink, and it pertains specifically to your business entity. It has the location of the business, it has the hours, it has whatever else. Whichever factors that has. And so it's helping to establish that this business exists at this place in knowledge graph, which is the trust factor. So when I was talking about trust before, what's so important, it's about how does Google understand the establishment of a business relative to other businesses. Citations are one way. So if you look at all of SEO as a game of 1,000 knobs to turn, and yours is at 0 and somebody else is at 100, it's a big disadvantage. Mm-hmm. Probably with this, just like everything else, you don't have to beat everybody. Mm-hmm. You just have to beat. You basically just want you want a strong signal on more different angles than other people. So it's less important to have the most citations as it is to have a sufficient number of citations, but also a sufficient number of reviews, and also a sufficient number of photos, and also a sufficient number of authority links to your root domain. Mm-hmm. It's more about the combination, and the person that has the most filled out combination of factors right now mm-hmm. is winning. That is, so the best strategy is to do a very good job on as many things as possible rather than a perfect job on any one thing.
Excellent.
Love that, love that. And for another backlink strategy that you also do is press releases, right? Press releases is part of your strategy. Can you talk more about how you're using press releases? Like, what kind of what kind of stories are you producing for local clients on like press releases?
Well, so since the December 2021 update, I believe, when they started looking at since helpful content, helpful content 2022. The most important thing about most of this stuff is, like including press releases, is that there's some reason, there's some relevancy to a day or time for the subject matter. So so if you're doing a press release and you're doing something seasonal, then you could do it on if you're like a roofing company, you could do it on like the storm season, or on a large storm. You could do it on like an event that happened and tie that to the brand and the services they have. What you're trying to do is you're trying to create something relevant in time for why that press release should exist.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it on like adding a service to your business, or you could do it on a change in management, or you could do it on you want to find some reason that's noteworthy to do it, that's related to the business. And the only reason why is just since the helpful content update 2022, one of the big things that Google's doing is they're looking at all your subject matter and making sure like each of them has a purpose that coincides with, well, ideally it coincides with other signals like traffic and stuff. And so when I say that, I mean, if you're doing best roofing company Denver, and then you do best roofing company Denver, and then you do best roofing company Denver, especially on your on-site strategies, they were penalizing that with helpful content. They were saying this is all duplicate content, or this is all repetitive. This doesn't serve a purpose. So what you want for things to serve a purpose at a date, at a location and time. So if you're doing if you have like a roofing company, you're doing you could do it's spring. Have you had your gutters cleaned yet? Make sure that people suffer foundation damage because of gutters being backed up with the spring rains. We have a special that we're offering with that because of this area. We've had this much rainfall this year. Like tying it back to something relevant to this year's something, so that you're creating a reason why it's relevant now. It's just one of the things that Google has started to look for a lot more, is a reason that things exist now at this time in reference to this thing. So does that make sense?
Love it. And so one of the next things that you actually talk about is about optimizing your Google business profile, right? So what are the things that you optimize in a Google business profile besides the title that you were just talking about, or the brand name actually?
Yeah. So I mean, it's all about. So Google has so many different ways that you can tell someone about your business. So on the GPB, there's I think that one of the things that people underestimate the value of, especially, so if you don't, let's say that you have a service and your competitors aren't like all doing like link building, and they're not all getting like tons of reviews, and you add just content to your profile, like in an FAQ item, for instance, that has details of like a product. In certain low competition situations, you'll rank for it just because you have the content relevant to it. So the optimization is about like relevancy. It's about like making sure that all the services and items that you have that are represented somehow on the Google Business Profile, if you can. So the things that you can do are you can do services on your GPB, you can do products, and Google's pretty good about allowing you to like optimize those. I don't know of anybody getting penalized for like optimizing a service to like city service level, like Denver 24-hour plumbing as a service. And to my knowledge, those are good signals in terms of the relevancy side. They don't build authority, but they build relevancy. Actually, press releases are the same. Press releases are all no follow. So because those links are all no follow, they don't build authority, but they build relevancy. So you can use a press release to introduce a service that you do as a business. And while it won't directly rank against the authority of other people's sites, it'll help build the knowledge graph association with that service. And you can do the same thing with the optimization on your GPB. And so, using FAQ, products, services, images. I'll be honest, I don't do like geo images. I know those have worked before. It's a lot of work. The other stuff that I do works well enough that we don't do it, but those might work. I would have to talk to somebody who's willing to put that time in when I'm not. But people do those really, really well. And then answering your reviews, responding to all your reviews. And and then of course, getting as many reviews as you can is huge. That's kind of a whole other factor as well.
Love that. Love it. Speaking of reviews, I know we had Ryan Stewart kind of mentioned a few ways how you can get reviews. I mean, how are some other ways that we can, kind of get reviews for our profile?
So, I mean, I thought that his ideas are really great. I think that this is where your ability to socially engineer your customer is most important. I would honestly, if you're doing local SEO, from the first day that you talk to your client, I'd be telling them that their income is directly tied to how successful they are getting reviews. And I would make it that clear because it's such a large signal. And since Google started filtering the fake reviews really aggressively last August, reviews are even more powerful because there's so much there's way fewer of them being posted and many more of them are being deleted. So that means just as a zero-sum game, there's fewer competitors, which means each review is more powerful. So reviews right now are super powerful. So, I mean, in my opinion, the way to do it is you from the beginning tell your client your success and how much money you make is tied to how successful you are getting reviews and how well you keep getting them. One of the big things about reviews is that the total number of reviews matters significantly less than the rate that you gain reviews. So, in other words, if you're getting 5 reviews a week against somebody who has 1,000 reviews and they're getting none, you can probably beat them because those new reviews matter so much more. Yeah.
Got it. Love that. And one big factor or what tactic that you are doing, which we're going to get into right now, it's a little bit more advanced, right? We're talking about like CTR. CTR is something you built a business around, which is agency assassin. And I want to go into. You gave a presentation at a conference. It was a Digital Unfiltered, and you were talking about like effective ways to drive traffic without triggering Google's manipulation filters. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, so Google wants to be sure that their signals are real. So there's visitors visiting them by the billions and millions and millions, and they have limited tools to make sure that like a search is a real search, because what Google's trying to do is they're trying to create a really good user journey. Google's goal is that every user journey, every person that searches for something on their platform finds the exact answer they needed as fast as possible. And so what CTR is it's creating a signal for Google that someone found the solution to their journey and it's your client. And so that demonstrates to Google that this is a business that they should render because this is a business that's going to help people end that user journey quickly. And so when it comes to filtering, when it comes to what they're trying to detect, they're trying to detect that traffic that's not real. And how their tool, the number one tool is math. That's how they figure all this stuff out. So they're looking at how much traffic a listing is getting, what its historical traffic is, and they're looking for any outlier. They're looking for any reason that they have to believe the traffic isn't real. And so if you think about, let's say you start doing CTR on a brand new keyword that nobody's ever searched before, outlier, very, very quickly. They can tell right away, oh, we went from 0 searches a day for this search to 10 searches a day. Obvious manipulation. Very, very easy to tell if there's no history of that keyword. So if you're making up keywords and you start doing CTR on them and nobody else is searching for it, you're going to get a penalty. What's the easiest way to solve for this? Your GPP data. Go into your performance data, go find your keyword history, find out what impressions you've already been getting. You know already that people are searching for those terms. You know exactly what they're searching for. And so you run CTR on those and you're automatically blending with real traffic. So that's the easiest way. The other ways to not trigger is to start slow and increase over time. And if you notice your rankings if you're running a CTR tool and you notice your rankings dropping some, don't stop doing CTR. Do less traffic. Because if you stop entirely, that's a negative signal. Google has thresholds. So if you send too much traffic, they start thinking that it's manipulation. There's some threshold that you've crossed. So if you decrease it, then you're going to go back over that threshold and you'll probably start going back up again. So in general with CTR, if you don't see it working, especially if you've done a traffic increase, the one thing that you don't want to do, and a lot of people do this, they freak out if they start running CTR, they do too much traffic, is they'll just turn it off. Do not just turn it off. Decrease it, because usually that'll work pretty well. Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like when you're doing CTR, we're not talking about like hundreds of clicks, right? We're talking, because you said like 10 a day or something like that. So like, what is that? Is there a magic number, or like how do you start off when you start off like a campaign like that?
Well, the thing that's hard is there is no magic number. Google uses your historical traffic averages to determine if a listing is manipulating. Okay. So if all of a sudden you jump to double or triple your previous traffic, you could get flagged and you could start getting A/B tests, which will cause your rankings to become very chaotic. The best thing to do is to start slow. Mm-hmm. I usually say 5 to 10 clicks a day. Google has a threshold that in general, even though 5 clicks a day might be 1,000% increase in traffic, I very rarely see Google running like aggressive A/B tests at those traffic levels. So they have some threshold of traffic where they're not even testing it yet. And it's probably just because it's they don't have a high enough confidence interval on statistically to be sure that this is manipulation under certain traffic levels. So usually at 5 to 10 searches a day, and sometimes it's 5, it's very, very safe. And then it's about building over time. I have campaigns for keywords where I'm running 100 searches a day. So I'm running 3,000 monthly searches, and probably 3/4 of that listings, or 80% of that listings traffic is CTR, and it ranks number 1 or 2 for all of its terms. But those have been running for like 4 years. So it has that historical traffic to like help it. And so generally speaking, if you start off at those levels, if you have a stomach to wait it out, eventually Google will start, because you'll move your average over time. So you get historical traffic. Eventually it'll work. But if you want it to work right away, you want to start low. So you want to start slow. Yeah. So I just say 5 to 10 searches a day is usually what I start at. You can get good results on 2 or 3 searches a day on some low competition keywords. It just really depends on the competition factors. So unfortunately, there's no set number and there's no set percentage, because it depends on the specific listing, depends on the specific search terms, it depends on competition.
Love that. And I'm pretty sure people out there are wondering, like, how do I do CTR? Or how I do? And obviously, like, you are the founder of Agency Assassin, which is a CTR tool, correct? And I'm curious, like, can you like explain and share like how Agency Assassin can help with your CTR program campaigns?
Yeah. Last August, Google released a big update where they started penalizing failed A/B tests really aggressively. And so if you're running CTR with a tool and you're sending, you're getting A/B tested and your tool is clicking those, you'll get penalized. We have basically heuristics management where we manage on a per keyword basis the traffic amount that we're sending based upon rank, and as well as managing all the A/B tests, so that we actually protect the listing against certain traffic problems. You can still send too much traffic with our tool and end up getting A/B tested, but we, if your ranking starts to drop, we'll actually stop sending traffic to those keywords. So all of that is managed on the platform, which makes it really easy. We have a help guide that's basically a standard operating procedure for a CTR campaign that's extremely successful. If you're in our software, it's available to you to look at it any time, and it shows you how to combine target keywords, branded keywords, and then high traffic keywords into like a really natural looking traffic pattern, and it makes it really, really super easy for you to run it. In addition to that, our new version that's about to come out lets you target specific areas for different keywords with specific keyword budgets. So you can send traffic by area and evaluate based upon keyword group how much traffic you want to send, including long tail, to where you can have like a large pool of long tail keywords and send very, very little traffic to those. So all those things I think are probably about the easiest on our platform, and also helps to make it so the campaigns are a lot safer. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we've got a really strong offering at this time. We're getting really good feedback, lots of upgrades, and very few cancellations. So.
Love that. And for those that are very unfamiliar with CTR, like what is your software doing at a high level? Like, and like why is it working? Like, you know, is it like proxies? Like, you know, can you explain like to like someone that doesn't know about CTR exactly what that software is doing?
Yeah. So we have we're pushing 300 mobile devices around the world that we use, where we generate tens of thousands of unique IPs a day. And we manage all of that to run searches in an area. So we will tell Google we're in Denver, and Google, the Google will think, okay, here's a user in Denver searching for the search, and we'll run the search and engage with the property. We manage all the dynamic elements. We manage all the browsers. We do some statistical analysis on like common browser configurations, so that we give Google a set of users that look like natural users, so that it matches average users off of public data, and all of that is managed by our system. Sorry, what was the question again?
Just like exactly like how what's the inner workings for someone that doesn't understand what your software is doing? Just like
so basically we make it look, we create fake users and we make it look real. That's what
Got it. Love that. And guys, I've been asking all the questions here, and we are running out of time. So if you guys want to make sure you get your questions ready, go ahead and ask them now. While I'm going to ask my last few questions here, as time has just flew by really quick. So I want to go into more of like, let's say your content, like your content like your content creation and structuring. What the part does that play within in your strategy of like your ranking over 20 keywords in 8 weeks?
Yeah, so starting in December of 2020, Google tried to use internal links and the relationship between topics as a primary ranking factor. They're attempting to get rid of external links as a primary ranking factor because it's so easy to manipulate, and it's costly for Google to like crawl all those links. We're creating billions of links that Google has to crawl because of the value of a link to Google. So they're trying to find other ways to rank a business. What they use knowledge graph. They use internal links between pages, and they use the difference between the subject matter on each page, the entities on each page, to determine if two pages should pass authority to one another on a site, on a page. And so when it comes to like content, knowledge-based trust it's basically about, do the associations of content on your site solve the set of criteria that users explore when they're searching Google. So Google knows what searches chain together. A person searches this, then that. They search roofing, and they search asphalt, shingles, or metal, and they search, how do I pick a roofing company? And so if you, instead of that user searching those three things, if you're representing all of that information on your site, so that they come to the site and right away they're seeing information about different roofing products, and it's prominent, and it has good context to roofing, and it answers questions in a good way. And especially if those pages are generating traffic, like in other words, if each one of those pages is also ranking and generating traffic, meaning Google sees people visit those pages and they have low bounce rates, then that's creating trust for Google. Google's saying, not only is this business providing context to the search, they're also providing context to these related topics. And not only that, but these related topics are generating traffic, and those users are not bouncing, or those searches are terminating, meaning they get the conversion. Somebody's not going to another website after that site. So what you're trying to do is solve that set of criteria with content and have it in your user interface, have it be usable so that people are able to use it. And then how Google's figuring out that those things are working is through bounce rate. It's through like, are they clicking on another site or not? So if you can solve the user journey sufficiently to where people come to your site and have all the information they need, they don't go anywhere else, Google knows that you're solving that entire user journey. That's the other part of the content strategy that's working. Does that make sense?
Love that. We got a first question from the audience, which is by Brian. He goes, is CTRFI still safe?
So CTRFI, I'm familiar with. I'm trying to remember what the Jimmy. I think that's Jimmy's product. Jimmy Sandu, I believe. So it's a really smart product. How it works is really, really clever. CTRFI is probably subject to the same problems that CTR in general has, which means if you send too much traffic through it, it becomes obvious. So it probably does work because it's real users. And if you're sending those types of users using that product, Google can probably see that. And if you're sending too much, it would probably be a negative factor that would cause A/B tests. That's just the same as almost anything else right now. So more than likely, if you're doing a tool like CTRify, if you're not seeing good results, it's probably because of traffic volume. But otherwise, it should work. Like I can't think of a reason, unless there's some way that Google's detecting that I don't know about. Those should be great users because it's a large diversity of different types of users. If you're getting people from Facebook, Facebook ad onto your GPB, those should be a very large diversity of users, which is really good for Signal. So it should work. And if it doesn't, it's probably because of volumes, if I had to guess.
Love that, Brian. Hopefully that answers your question there. So I want to go into my last question on the topic is on schema. Schema is one of the things that you actually is one part of your strategy, right? So like, what are you doing with schema? Are you doing anything like crazy or advanced, or is it just putting just local schema? Like, what are you doing with schema?
I have a friend that gave me a schema that's really, really, really awesome. And he's basically linking together all of the wiki articles and all the same ases for services, using it to identify his local business with like all of the types of searches that are related to that page's information, all the types of content that are related to that page. Our agency does that. I don't do that. That's I don't have the focus. I have too much ADD to work through that. But what my agency does is we do build that out in a pretty complex way. I mean, I'll throw out. I mean, Terry Samuels, of course, has is the guy who does like super in-depth schema, and you can actually just go to his website salterasite.com and look at his schema for an example of how deeply you can use it. But what you're trying to do is tell Google's knowledge graph. You're trying to instruct it on what is this page, or what is a local business entity? What does it relate to, and what is it associated with? And what you're solving for the knowledge graph is answering the question, what is this local business about, and what do they know? And so you could use schema to help on top of like the content clusters like that I was talking about before, where you're using like internal links and like subject matter to like help build up authority. You can use schema to fill out like the different dimensions of that, to like add like different like ways of saying something, like different ways of writing like a search term, for instance. You could do like knows about, and you could do stuff like that, and you can use it to like include different specific search terms or different zip codes, and you can make it so that like a page's content is associated with other things that are going to help you show up in search, if that makes sense.
Love that. Okay, guys, if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and ask it right away, because I'm going to ask my last question that I ask all my SEO professionals on here, is that if someone would become an SEO professional themselves or get into the SEO industry, what would your one piece of advice be to them?
Right now, my piece of advice to them would be, it would be to learn marketing. It would be right now. If you look at which way the wind is blowing, SEO is going to continue to become a higher and higher technical game, where the players who are doing the best, you can see this already, are the most sophisticated with the best ops and the most comprehensive strategies. And as that continues, as that sophistication continues, it's going to be harder to, there's still going to be opportunities in SEO, but it's going to be harder to operate at the highest levels. And what you're seeing is Google, I mean, especially you look at search generative experience and stuff like that, is the reason I say to be a marketer is for you to be really, really successful, and you've probably seen this yourself, a lot of SEO agencies have gotten into PPC in the last year, a lot. Yeah, like everybody has gotten into Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or other methods of generating leads. And what you're starting to see is SEO is becoming more skillful as marketers, and SEO is always going to be valuable. But as it becomes more and more difficult, you're going to need more tools in the toolkit. So my number one recommendation would be to like learn marketing, learn branding. Google's starting to lean really heavily on brand to prevent people from doing like just like raw content sites with a billion pages. Now they want them to be associated with a brand, either a local business, which actually, I should say this, local SEO is not going anywhere. And that's one very safe part of SEO. Google doesn't want to kill, a million small businesses by eliminating them. And so, and those local brands are really, really safe right now. If you look at helpful content, like penalty strategies, like what strategies are working with it, it's very brand centric, but local service companies did not get hit. They were very, very safe and will likely continue to be safe. So, there's still strategies that do work, but yeah, definitely learn marketing as well. Learn as many tools as you can, share with people, and get as much information as you can about different strategies that work. So that if you talk to a company, hey, solar is really hard for inbound SEO, but hey, PPC works great. We've got some PPC strategies, or email marketing works great. We've got some email marketing strategies. Network with other marketers and add services so that you have more to offer, because the play field is requiring more dynamic solutions than it used to.
Love that. And for this episode to feel complete for you, what any last comments, and how can people get a hold of you?
First of all, thank you so much. This is awesome. Your production value is so great. Like, I can tell how much of your heart you put into this. This is like really, really wonderful. This is one of the coolest interviews I've gotten. So thank you really, really very much. I guess what I would say is, if you want to contact me, you can contact me, Eean, E-E-A-N, at agencyassassin.com. You can schedule on my calendar if you want to talk about the software. That's calendly.com/agencyassassin. I love talking to people. I mean, if you get on a call with me, and the software is right for you, I'll give you all the tips I can. I'll connect you with anyone in the industry that could help you. I love doing that, and I just love to be able to provide value wherever I can. And just thank you so much for having me on.
Love it. Everyone, just give a round of applause. Eean, thank you so much. Can you hold on for one quick second? All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And don't forget to visit our sponsors, SEOnitro.com and search-intelligence.co.uk. Until next time, I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!